Hello everyone. We again pick up where we had left at lesson 6.2. Then the previous lesson in the module 6, which talks about practicing values, integration, and reflection. We had talked about value conflicts and real life decision making. There we had actually seen what are the different kind of values or the system or the framework that we require to build us up as a character, as a personality. And then we also saw that how decision making at times is very, very difficult. What are the values that go on to stake, or what are the values which we should have in order to have efficient decision making? Also, the conflict that we have, that in case if we are not able to make a good decision at a given point in time, what are the repercussions, what are the consequences, what all entails after the decision has been made, how it plays on our mind psychologically, how it bears a conflict on us emotionally, how it affects us professionally while we are practicing a system which has values in it. And when we talk about the decision making aspect of it, we have to be mindful that every decision that we've made or anything that entails it, it does not only concern us, it concerns everything that is associated with us, whether it is the environment, whether it is the society, whether it is the family that we live in. So we can never think of ourselves as an individual effect. It is a circumferential effect which gradually happens on us. So we are in lesson 6.2, where the holistic module of practicing values, integration, and reflection. We are going to delve into learning what group discussions on moral dilemmas can do, how can they help, how can they be so effective that it leads an impact on our mind, on our thought process, on how we then come to do about things. So let's continue with the lesson. Group discussions on moral dilemmas are an incredibly valuable pedagogical tool for students of all ages, from high school to college. Now, a group discussion, some of you may have delved into it, some of you may have experienced it. So, group discussions are the deciding factors to so many things. Be it a social event, be it a political event, anything which carries perspective as a weight, a group discussion can help sort so many things out. It can give you an edge over the understanding that you have. It can give you an edge over the knowledge that you have. When we are into a group discussion, we know the format. We have a particular topic which is given to us, and then we are not made to sit in theater style. It's more or less a C shape or a round seating arrangement. Why? Because while we are discussing, while we are sharing our views, while we are sharing perspectives, it is very important to maintain comfortable eye contact. It is not to intimidate anybody, but it is to prove your point, a valid point. So we cannot battle over anything which is not valid, but yes, to make a valid point. And we follow a set format which is given to us. After the topic has been given to us, a set format is given to us, that a person volunteers to begin with the introduction. Other members happen to contribute towards the discussion, and then any member out of the group can begin to conclude the whole discussion. That is how the pattern is, that is how it should be carried out. And then again, points which we can verify are need to be made in the group discussion. You cannot just make any arbitrary statement which you will have difficulty in proving later on. They provide a safe and structured environment for students to explore complex ethical issues. So topics which are related to student life, which will enhance your skill, which will enhance your knowledge, which makes you more aware of the world that you live in, the society that you live in, the environment that you live in, is basically picked up for you. How does it further help you? It develops your critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills, why? Because then you have to analyze what you are hearing, you are about to say, the statement that you make, how effective it is going to be, how truthful it is going to be. So you have to validate everything that you're making a point on. So validity means that it has to be truthful, it has to have value, it should add value to the group discussion. It is only then that a group discussion is successful. Group discussion is also about emotional intelligence. When it says enhances your emotional intelligence, because you need to be emotionally aware, not about yourself alone. We cannot be selfish. We have to be. When we are sitting together as a group, then the group works like a unit. Then every participant therein is important. Every participant's viewpoint matters. Every participant's overview matters, and then the entirely it is for the group to steer the direction of the conclusion of the discussion that is on. So it is a collective effort, but yes, an individual does have to stand out. The individual's perspective does matter, and the individual's perspective influences the kind of character stretch that is drawn out of that group discussion for that particular individual. So, what are the benefits of group discussions on moral dilemmas? Let's just see how it makes a difference. It develops critical thinking and reasoning. You are challenged to analyze situations. Why challenged to analyze? Because they are food for thought. They are deliberately, it has been given to you to think about it. Identify underlying values. Underlying values means the value system, which is the outcome of that particular group discussion, has to be taken into consideration, has to be thought about. Consider different perspectives and construct reasoned arguments for their choices. Different perspectives, as we did talk, every topic, every individual can have a different perspective, but they need to have validity for it. It needs to prove itself to be a reasoned argument. You cannot unreasonably go on arguing about any topic. This process sharpens the ability to think logically and evaluate assumptions. Anything that we pre-assume has to be also logically thought. It has to have a reason. Without any reason, you cannot argue a stance that you've taken or a point that you've put forward. So it has to be careful craftsmanship, and when we think of it as articulation. Any sentence, when it is well articulated, it does make sense. Yeah. When our thought is not correctly articulated, that will also hold value. If it is correctly articulated, it will absolutely make sense. It will contribute towards the group discussion. The next benefit that we can talk about here is enhances empathy and perspective. So empathy, we've been talking, perspective, we've been talking, and let's see how they work together. By discussing dilemmas with peers who may hold different views. Every person has a perspective. Every point that you think about, every individual have a different outlook towards it. You learn to understand and appreciate diverse perspectives. In a group discussion, we need to be mindful that the perspective that we have may not always be all correct, or the same perspective may not be shared by all members of the group, or it may not, leave alone all, it may not be the perspective of a common perspective with even one of the members. So that doesn't mean that you are all wrong, that doesn't mean that you are all correct. You have to sit there, weigh give a listening ear to each perspective that is being shared with you, and that will enable you to decide how to steer further your belief in the group discussion on moral dilemmas. They can step into the shoes of various characters in the dilemma, fostering empathy and social awareness. When that is said, it means that empathy you have to realize by putting yourself into the position of the person who is facing any kind of dilemma, think accordingly, and then decide what virtue, what responsibility you have, what is expected out of you, and that is going to make you act into a correct direction. The next that we talk about is it improves communication and articulation skills. We just talked about articulation in a brief sentence. You practice clearly articulating your thoughts, defending your human values, viewpoints respectfully. So it has to be very respectfully done. You cannot use loud jargon. So all these encompass your human values, your viewpoint, which has to be put very respectfully, very genuinely, and actively listening to others. So when we do not listen to others, we do not know what their opinion is, we do not know what their stance is, we do not even understand what they're trying to tell us. So we have to be very, very open over there. This builds confidence in experiencing complex ideas and engaging in constructive dialogue. So, when we engage ourselves in constructive dialogue, we do realize what we are doing, how we are doing, what we want to achieve, and what our target is, and what problem are we there to solve about. Fosters self reflection and value clarification. Confronting moral dilemmas prompts us to examine our own values. We have been talking about human values which innately are there in us, but we choose not to exercise them, we choose not to use them. Identify what truly matters to you. We have to be very clear with our conscience, we have to be very clear with our aspirations, and understand how those values influence decision making. If you have the correct set of values, naturally the decision that you make is going to be good. It is going to be genuine. It will make a difference. It will make an impact. It will change perspectives. This leads to greater self awareness and integrity. You have self enlightenment with this. Integrity, yes, because you have chosen to do the right thing, you have consciously chosen to do the right thing. When you consciously try to choose the right thing, it does very well for you. You are at mental peace, your mental health remains satisfied, you remain harmonious within yourself, you are happy with the choice you have made, and it all leads to your prosperity, whether it is mental prosperity or any kind of prosperity that you are looking at. Promotes collaborative problem solving, demonstrates how to learn to work together to explore solutions. Now, when we work together, things get done in a better way. Why? Because delegating responsibility, and every person has its own perspective and his own input. Maybe there is a skill which you are not good at, but your colleague is good at. So it is not only going to save you the time, it will save you the stress, it will also save you your own input value. Negotiate differences and sometimes even find common ground in ethically challenging situations. So, situations which get us into a fix, we may find that yet another person or yet another colleague is facing the similar challenge. So, when you discuss your problems, you have different thoughts which are poured into you. There are different ways that every individual looks for a solution. So, maybe that is an eye opener for you. Maybe it helps you to develop, prepares for real life challenges. When we talk about group discussions, it's just like a mock thing happening with you. It is a mock situation given to you, and how you are going to react to that mock situation will obviously will be the same that you react to a real life challenge or situation. Moral dilemmas are not just academic experiences. They are not only in papers and just not arbitrary. Situations are real life too. They reflect the complexities of the real world decision making, that how the real world can affect how good a decision you can make, how quickly you can think, how promptly can you get an answer to the problem that you have at hand. Practicing these discussions will help develop a framework for approaching ethical challenges they will face in their personal and professional lives. So, when you are facing any problem in deciding what to do, what not to do, how to steer with your moral value, how to steer with your ethical package, your moral compass, and even in your professional lives, when you start to work, when you start to earn, and then at some point in time monetary benefit is more attracting than the moral compass, there we can falter. But then if we have a right frame of mind and if our ethics are intact, we will not falter. We are going to achieve the best, but without making any compromises in any kind of quality that is deliverable to us. Let's take a quick look at moral dilemmas examples for you. So, for high school students, we will have a very realistic example, and the very realistic example is the cheating friend. Your friend could be cheating, you could be cheating, anything. Your best friend is struggling in a class and asks you to help them cheat on an upcoming exam, knowing that if they fail, they might not graduate. Now, what comes into play is your value, loyalty to your friend, but also honesty and academic integrity. Yes, now this is food for thought. Now, you have to see in the given situation when a very dear friend of yours is facing this dilemma, and then it becomes a dilemma for you also, that in order to help your friend, if you don't let that friend cheat, that friend is not going to pass. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to one time give into your value system and let that friend cheat and get along with it? Or you will stop, not let that friend cheat and let the friend fail? All up to you. Then we have yet another scenario, the secret. Your friend confides in you that they are being cyberbullied by a popular student at school. They make you a promise not to tell anybody. So you are told by your friend not to share that information, especially an adult, because they are afraid it will make things worse. It may not. That is for you to decide. Your value, your friend's trust, you do that friend has entrusted you with that information. So how far are you going to go along with it? But you're concerned for the well-being and safety, that you are also bothered whether your friend is going to be safe, whether the mental condition of your friend is going to be balanced or not. What do? So will you share that set of information with an adult? That is for you to decide. So you need to have sufficient discernment of the problem at hand, that if you try to handle it yourself, will it be solvable? Will you need external aid like an adult in the situation to help you through? So do think about it and do give it a thought, and then come out with a solution that best suits the situation. Then we have examples for college students also. All of us will have different phases in life. So, plagiarism and group work. In a group project, you discover that one of your teammates has plagiarized a significant portion of their contribution, stolen. If you report it, the whole group's grade could be affected, and your teammate could face severe academic penalties, including you. If you don't, you are complicit in academic dishonesty. So, if you don't report it, you are hand in glove, means you are part and parcel of the problem, and part and parcel of the degrading value system. If you do, then what happens? Then your friend is going to falter, or there will be some negative impact on your friend. So here again, you need to decide how you need to go about solving this problem. Then is confidentiality in a dormitory. Your roommate confides in you about a serious personal struggle that could jeopardize their academic standing or even their safety. Example, severe mental health issue, substance abuse, which is very common these days. They explicitly ask you not to tell anybody. You're not to divulge the information with anybody. You value their trust, but you're worried about their well-being. Means you're concerned whether that person is going to uh, be well, the mental stability will be there. Do you break confidentiality to get them help? Will you step out of your comfort zone so that the other person can feel safe, or you yourself can have a solution for this person? Now, your solution may not be 100% applicable, but then you need to see the larger picture. Will the entire problem get solved? How will it work? It's all up to you. So, with this, we come to an end of session 6.2, where we talked about group discussions and group discussions on dilemmas and how we can logically think about dilemmas, sort them out with a practical perspective. So, group discussions are very important if carried out very correctly. The practical applicability of it has to be seen and sorted out. Thank you.